So I'm doing up this video for my potential referral partners, specifically realtors for this one. And I think it's always good to kind of get a look under the hood, right? And understand what is the value that this mortgage agent would bring to my clients if I referred them. Because I think it's extremely important, right? Both ways, right? And so if I referred somebody to you, my biggest concern is, are you going to take care of my client, right? What's the client experience going to be like? What's the level of service that you're going to provide? Are you going to try to protect my brand, right? And I think that's the big one that we're all, in our heart. We're all business owners. We're all trying to protect our brand. I think that should be table stakes. That's the bare minimum. Is you should be giving your clients a fantastic client experience. The next thing is obviously we hear about is poor communication. Not at each milestone throughout the mortgage process, from lead in to post closing and renewals and seeing if there's opportunities to sell. There has to be open communication at all of those milestones, and I think that's important too. But I think for me, when I started to think about, well, how can I add additional value to my referral partners, I just started to think about, well, what happened with me when I first started? What if somebody helped me build my book of business or helped me with my client experience? I think, if somebody did that would be a lot of value. So as you're seeing on the screen here, I want to just talk about the client experience. So what you're seeing here is my mortgage app. As mortgage agents, we all have access to this. If you're with Dominion Lending, the Mortgage Center Canada, Mortgage Architects, we all get this for free, which is fantastic. It's an amazing client experience. And if more and more people used it, I wouldn't be doing this video, because a lot of people don't, which is great for me, bad for them, because it is an amazing tool. And so I try to use this religiously with every single client and with my referral partners, because it really does wow the client. Okay. And it also helps with communication. It helps with collaboration, all that kind of stuff. So let me walk you through, you send me a lead. First thing I do is I book a discovery call with your client. We have a discovery call. I understand what they're trying to do. And then I send them this. So I make sure I explain how it's going to work. They put it on their phones, and then it becomes a phenomenal client experience. If I put this in their phone, now what they can do is right within this app, if they're ready to go, they can fill out a mortgage application. I'll also send them a link in the email, of course. Click this link and we'll start the application out, which is great. But they can do this right within the app as well. For realtors, they use this all the time at open houses, this pre-qualification tool. Like, you have someone walking through your open house, they haven't been pre-approved yet. You can quickly go through this pre-qualification tool. You can share that with them. They can put it on their phone, and in less than 2 minutes, they can figure out whether or not they can afford this place or not. Now, it's not a pre-approval, that's for sure. I definitely recommend we do full pre-approvals, and this is where we're actually looking at income documents, and we're verifying everything, right? So that's a lot different than a pre-qualification, but it's a nice feature to have when you're doing an open house, right? The other big one I'm going to talk about is this purchase calculator. So when you send me a client and we start the mortgage application out, and we start getting started, I've done the pre-approval, we know what the amount's going to be, and you start sending me listings and they start sending me listings, well, I start updating this in real time. So I'll go through this. Here we can put in the purchase price, we can put in the mortgage rates, we can do amortizations, the monthly payments, we do the property tax, condo fees, closing costs and expenses, which are all automated and estimated in here, which is fantastic. It really just provides a phenomenal client experience and end to end. And then as you're shopping, text me on the weekends, text me in the evenings. Here's the MLS number, Dwayne. Hey, what do you think about this property? Will this work? And I immediately update that, save it, and it automatically updates in real time on the client's phone, which is an awesome experience, right? So we know through all the different stages, from lead in to closing, there's going to be a few touch points that you just want to be communicated with, and this app will certainly help with that. But also, I've got it set. I have workflow automations in my CRM that just make sure that send out a text message to my referral partner once we get broker complete, or once we get the commitment, or once I receive the application. So instead of you having to text me, I send those things out, which is kind of cool, right? What's the other thing I do? So obviously you can kind of see my client experience, but what's the other things that I can do to help support your business? Well, look, as a mortgage agent, and you know this too if you've worked with mortgage agents, we don't send a lot of referrals Many don't. And that's because by the time the client comes to us, they're already working with you, right? That being said, I actually work with a lot of financial advisors and accountants, and I find that I am able to send referrals out because of that. And I have a big following on LinkedIn that you'll see, and sometimes I'll work with people for especially first-time home buyers, and they haven't worked with a realtor yet, so I can send referrals out. I don't do them a lot, but I do them for sure. And so one of the ways I can help is helping you get more eyeballs on your listings. So I do have a YouTube channel. I'm pretty active on there. And as you can see, here's one this morning. You know, I did a mortgage review for this high-end property in Flamborough. This gets more eyeballs on the realtor's listing. People will see it here. I'll also post those things over on my other social channels like TikTok and Instagram and LinkedIn, right? So I'll give you an example of that. Let me bring over, here you go. Here's my my social profile for LinkedIn. You can see I've got over 8,000 followers on there. And here I post that there. So this isn't my client. I'm not working with this client yet, but I'm just helping this realtor get more eyeballs because number one, I like the property, but it also adds value to me as well because I get to explain different mortgage products and that sort of thing, which is kind of cool. The other thing that I do is I do have a newsletter that goes out. So one of the things I found with LinkedIn, although it's a great platform and I really can really target different segments, like if I want to go after doctors, dentists, if I want to go after, you know, account executives with high income, I can really narrow my focus and go after those types of folks and connect with them on LinkedIn, where you can't do that on other platforms, which is actually kind of cool. So, but what I did find is when I was posting on LinkedIn is I wasn't getting a lot of impressions. I wasn't getting a lot of views. And that's because of the way the LinkedIn algorithm works. So I figured it out pretty quick. It took me almost 2 years to do it, but I figured out that newsletters are the way to do it. So you can see I've got about 980 subscribers on my newsletter now, and I just started this, 2 months ago. So I did start in October. And you can see I get lots of comments on it. I can in the newsletter themselves, I provide a lot of helpful tips and tricks for first-time home buyers, mortgage updates and that sort of thing. But what I'm thinking about doing as well is start putting some of my videos in here as well from YouTube, and just you know, if you've got a listing coming up and that sort of thing, I'm going to start putting them in to my newsletters, or maybe putting you in a spotlight. So those are the kind of things that I do to try to add value. And you know, just got to ask yourself, am I getting that right now from my mortgage agent? If not, then maybe we should have a coffee. Bye for now.